US Secretary Antony Blinken is in the country. SABC News reporter Kailihle Khumalo is following that story. We cross live to him now in Pretoria. A very good afternoon to Kailihle. What's come out of that visit so far?
Well, undoubtedly, Nzinga, a very clear indication of the proximity between Washington, D.C. and Pretoria. So a reaffirmation of a cordial, of a solid relationship between the two countries. Also, a very strong emphasis as well from Secretary Blinken that they will always value the role that South Africa plays, but also hearing from Dr. Pandor as well, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation in South Africa, saying that they will always be very keen to work with the US in addressing some of the triple challenges of fighting poverty, inequality, and of course the issue of unemployment, saying those are the very main issues that may cause the social strife. But to try and just zoom on quite a number of issues that have emerged, we're joined by our very own international editor here, the SABC. So, Sophie, a very important day between the two countries, but by sheer number of the delegation, we're just observing inside. It's breathtaking to see that it's a very serious business inside.
Yes, the Americans are in town. When you look at the delegation, you're talking about different departments. You have business. You also have different agencies, the United States of America, saying we are here to negotiate and to talk serious issues. And as I pointed out earlier on, the main focus is on the economic diplomacy. You have a situation where both leaders have emphasized a need to ensure that trade relation between the two countries does flourish. They pointed out in terms of the volume of trade, yes, we are doing well, but we can do better. And I also saw the former Africa CDC head, Dr. John Kenkasong, who is currently the head of PEPFAR, and that speaks to the issues on the table. That includes issues that are related to COVID-19 and health. But another important issue, the ambassador designate, sitting there and watching the deliberations.
And just a very important, profound remarks by Secretary Blinken about the role that South Africa plays, saying that what we do does have the global implications.
It was a clear statement that he is here to talk Ukraine. South Africa's position at the global scale and level at multilateral organizations, particularly currently the war in Ukraine. You know that the Americans are worried that South Africa has taken the position it has taken. They want to see South Africa condemning Russia. And unfortunately, South Africa is saying, you heard the minister when she was talking about important issues such as multilateralism, peaceful dialogue in conflict areas. In other words, in no many words, she was also saying, yes, let's talk about these issues, but we still maintain our position that only dialogue will resolve the current crisis in Ukraine. And you heard the minister saying, much as we agree on many other issues, there are issues that we don't agree, and we have to respect the position of different countries because this has got to do with policies we crafted as South Africa that is anchored on the principle of Ubuntu. You can't have Ubuntu if you are violent, if you are a proponent of a war. And therefore, South Africa saying, we maintain our position.
And obviously, Secretary Blinken labeling South Africa as this emerging healthcare hub. We're also giving a nod to our scientists for discovering Omicron. But obviously, the issue around HIV and AIDS, we know that the US has been very instrumental in terms of working with South Africa through PEPFAR, a very key intervention.
Yes, you know that during the tenure of former President W. Bush, the United States of America and South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, there was this agreement where this PEPFAR was launched. The aim here was to assist South Africa and the sub-Sahara countries to fight HIV and AIDS. And therefore, that even led to a situation where South Africa adopted what we call a comprehensive strategy to fight HIV and AIDS. Comprehensive in a sense that you can't just focus on stigma or focus on treatment. You have to focus on all facets of impact of HIV and AIDS, including food supply, but also looking after orphans and all of that. And therefore, that program has continued, particularly when you have the Republicans, because I think they take ownership of it because it was launched by their former Republican president. And it has continued. Even under Donald Trump, much as the relations were not sound, PEPFAR continued. And now Joe Biden and his administration is saying we are going to strengthen PEPFAR. And the most fortunate thing is that as we speak now, PEPFAR is headed by an African, Dr. John Gengasong. And I think the partnership during COVID has kind of strengthened that partnership in issues that are related to health. You know, the United States of America supported South Africa and India at the WTO when there were those talks around issues related to trip waiver, and also partnership sharing expertise and technology on manufacturing of vaccines. And I think this has been extended to the continent, and I think those words where they say when South Africa speaks, I mean, the whole world does respond. And these are some of the areas where South Africa has taken a lead, but also they can use South Africa to, sort of expand what they are doing on the continent.
All right. Thank you so much indeed for your time, Sophie. So with that, back to you, Nzinga.
Thanks, Kylie.